Hope everybody's having a good day. I was gonna just say this is not, or I don't feel it's really a prophetic dream. These are some of the most bizarre dreams that I've ever had. We'll just jump right into it. The first dream was I flew a helicopter and I flew it flawlessly. Well, I'm just going to say, I'm 48 years old. Back in about 1992 or 93, in real life, I just remember I went up in a helicopter and all we did was fly around the airport traffic pattern. And I lived in Georgia, but I had never gotten any helicopter training, don't know nothing about flying a helicopter, and have never sought a helicopter rating of any kind or certificate, from the FAA. I've never sought any of those for a helicopter. So in the dream, I dreamed that in Georgia, I was at Cassville Road and Grassdale Rd. I was at that corner, and in the dream, Cartersville Airport was right there. In reality, it's not. Cartersville Airport is out on Highway 61 and 113 toward Mach, kinda. But in the dream, I just remember I got in a two-place helicopter. I just remember flawlessly, perfectly, I cranked the thing up and I idled the blade up to where it was turning. And I was sitting on the ground, idle on the skids. And I just remember that I lifted off when it got revved up enough. Had the stick, slightly forward. The stick was between my legs. One passenger seat over there. There was no instructor with me, no nothing. Just took off like this. Just perfectly. And then I put the stick this way and just kind of leaned into it a little bit, just slightly, till I got up to speed and then went on up just like that, flawlessly in a helicopter. And I remember I flew all around Cartersville, Georgia for an hour in that thing, and then I thought, whoa, this was fun. And so I went back to where Cartersville Airport was in the dream, and I just came down, I idled it down and just kind of let it kind of ease down like this. And I never had made a landing before in a helicopter, so I just came down slow and just got real slow and then kind of put it forward a little bit, and it went just right there perfectly on the skids. And my blade up over there was still turning, at idle speed. I made a perfect landing in a helicopter. And I thought that I would share that dream. That is one of the most bizarre dreams I have ever had before, because I know absolutely nothing about how a helicopter operates. Nothing. And I had that dream. So that's the first dream. So the second dream, I dreamed that I had a lot of real severe depression. And I had been real frustrated. And again, I went to the Cartersville Airport, but in that dream, it was where it exists in real life at 113 and Highway 61, Dallas Highway. And in this dream, I dreamed that I had just been so frustrated and so tired with how everything was going. And in the dream, I was going to rent an airplane, or I had rented a Cessna 172. And I had it reserved on the schedule. And I'm just going to stop for the record and say, many years ago, I did have instruction and did fly a small airplane like a Cessna 152, Cessna 172. I did get a certificate on that, but that was, I mean, that's been many years ago now. So back to this dream, I had scheduled an airplane at the airport. And I went out there because I was going to go fly around for an hour in a Cessna 172. And when I got there, they bumped me off the schedule and gave the airplane to somebody else they liked better. And you know, I dreamt it. And so I dreamed that I was just frustrated. I went outside onto the tarmac out by the windsock, and I just said, I don't even need an airplane anymore. And I remember the other guy they gave the plane to took off, and then I just flapped my arms and I went up just real easy, just flapping my arms. I went up in the sky and just flew at an altitude of around 2,000 to 3,000 feet. I flew literally like Superman for an hour in this dream, and I said, I'm just frustrated with this pattern and I'm cursing this pattern. I remember I said that when I was up about 3,000 feet in the sky. And then I remember I looked down and I saw my shoes hanging down in the ground about 3,000 feet below me, and I said, I'm not scared of falling. I don't fall. I said, I don't fall into that valley that's down there. And then I just went and I flew back over Ladd's Mountain, and then the other person that was in the Cessna, flying like Superman, I went up and intercepted him. I flew about 3 foot from his passenger pilot, or you know, the right seat, you know, right front passenger seat, and a Cessna 172 flew up like Superman about 3 foot from the window, and I looked in at him, and I just kept following him however fast he was going, flew around and thought it was funny, and I was laughing, and I could look out and the visibility was real good. The weather was sunny, and I could look out and see it only as far as the horizon would let me, and that was like almost forever, because I was up pretty high, about 3,000 foot. And I just remember that I flew back to the airport and then just came down kind of like the helicopter did, and then stepped down on the ground, and I went in to the airport office, went to the restroom, and when I went to the restroom, I said, wow, that happened quick. And I remember I was like, I'm so frustrated I don't even need these things to do this stuff anymore in the dream. And then I said, wow, that happened quick, you know, again. And I was like, yeah, I'll just fly like Superman. And then I woke up, and I have to say that those are two of the most bizarre dreams I have ever had in my life. Ever. And, you know, I'm not sharing a prophetic anything. I'm just sharing them with everybody because I thought that it was so bizarre, and I enjoyed them and thought it was funny, and everybody needs a laugh, and I'm giving everybody a laugh. Much love, everybody. Those are my two most bizarre dreams ever, was flawlessly flying a helicopter. And today is July 11th, 2023, 7/11.